What time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, what time is it? Your show. Yeah, he's back from the dead. Your show. Putting it on the map, yeah. Saskatoon. Right next to New York. New York. Yeah, what show, yeah? Your show. What time is it? Your show. Yeah, time to talk some shit, yeah. Your show.
You've tuned in, yeah?
Yeah, von Maggie. Bark, bark, wolf, wolf, who wants a treat, yeah? Keep listening.
Hello and welcome to the 101st edition of your show. My name is Gary. This is the #1 ranked podcast on YouTube that has recently celebrated a 100th episode and also is run out of a garage in Saskatoon that goes live 4 to 5 Monday to Friday. It's a very niche market, but we got it cornered, as I'm pretty sure we are the only one. #1, baby. Hope you had a great little Thursday here, as we definitely did. Still flying high off that incredible show yesterday. Thank you again to everyone involved, including our sweet, beautiful Margaret. It's going to be a little bit of a back cam today as we check in and see how she is doing with the Maggie cam. Look at that. You can't... Man, I forgot I was wearing my Christmas pants. This is a little bit cooler today. Boy, do I look silly now. The Maggie cam for our incredible friends over at Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer, Mike and Rochelle, and their beautiful puppy, Leroy, who's currently courting Margaret here. Always there to make your day so much better. I promise you. And if you go there after hours during the week or the weekends, you'll see Kirsten, Char, or Chris, and they will take care of you as all of your puppy issues go away, as well as all your other issues in your life. Everything gets better when you walk into Pet Planet on 8th Street, your pet's natural grocer. See? Look at that. This puppy right here, this beautiful angel, she's powered by Pet Planet on 8th Street. God, she's beautiful, hey? Look at that. I almost don't want to say time to move on, but I guess we'll let her go off to puppy dreamland here. Or maybe she'll lick her fur a bunch and have a nice sneeze like she loves to do. Either way, great job, Margaret. You did it. So I've been getting... we got LB on the ones and twos here. I was going to say I've been getting better at introducing these and making them a little more seamless, but I'm not. I'm horrible at it still. A true professional would watch it right before they go on and know exactly how to lead into it. Not around here. We're very real. I dare I say none of us are professionals in any way. Well, actually, that's not true. We got a bunch. I'm probably the only non-professional here at the network. That felt better. So we are going to jump right into this next previously recorded segment and see what's going on. Take it away, LB. In case you were wondering what day it is today, we got the answer for you. It's Thursday because
That's
CTV's Matt Young is in the house.
Yes. I love it.
How are you here? How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing great. And you know what? It's really interesting because I was driving down outside and you're starting to see a little bit of the fall colors outside.
Don't see. You better see something positive after that.
But it looks nice.
Okay.
I like those fall colors because it's still warm. You still got that summer weather, but you're starting to see a little bit of that nice color peeking out. So it's great. I love it.
You know what my coping mechanism has always been with the turning of the season?
What's that?
The leaves starting to fall? Football's back.
Yes, it's back. It is
That's how I
back, baby. The Huskies are going to be starting up this weekend. Saskatchewan Huskies going to be a big game. They're on the road. They're in Manitoba. And then
I saw they're ranked pretty. What, top four?
Top four. Yep. It's going to be an interesting year in Canada West Conference because you got some movement from last season. Some players graduate on. You got new guys coming in. So Huskies are starting. The Hilltops are on a bye week coming up here, and then they're going to be back home in a couple of weeks. And boy, they have looked strong. They have
big
looked
surprise.
Really good.
Big surprise. Hoppers
there
are
you
good.
go. But hey, you know what? Yeah, winning's always fun. There you go. We'll take it.
Yeah.
And then you know
Day,
what?
Man.
Labor Day Classic sold out. Saskatchewan Roughriders taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and come on, guys, we got to win this one. I mean, enough with blowing games in the last second. You got to play 60 minutes of football and come out with a win. So lots of stuff going on in Saskatoon. University students are returning, so you probably a little more hustle and bustle out there,
and
right?
maybe a little more gaming.
That's right.
In the dorms. Gaming in the dorms.
Exactly. Well, so you have a Nintendo 64.
We have one right over there for the Twitch stream. You betcha.
A lot of people still do. And there's this age-old question about Nintendo 64 controllers. And the
Yes.
reason why is because a lot of people who have Nintendo 64 controllers use these things.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing a sort of a 6 or 8 week series on how to spruce up and make your video games last longer.
Yep.
Last week we focused on Sega Genesis
Which was
controllers.
awesome. Yeah.
This week we're going to focus on Nintendo 64.
And we even prepared. Are you ready for your ISO cameras?
We're ready.
All
We're
right, here
ready.
we go.
Oh
We're
yeah,
gonna make
top-notch
this
production. Because
Tap this switch.
here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There you go, right there. All righty. So now a lot of people are going to notice that the biggest problem with Nintendo 64 controllers is the little joystick in the middle here.
They always go limp on
and
me,
they
man.
always
Or
go
the
limp.
side or
yeah,
something.
yeah, and they don't work
Frustrating.
anymore. And the reason why is because and people will start to notice the sort of the infamous white powder
Yeah.
that you sometimes get inside a Nintendo 64 controller or inside the sort of the joystick area.
You know what's really scary about that too is, like, lots of us would do the game like you talk. You got the
Yeah.
pizza, you got the grease going on,
Yeah.
mixing in with this dust. Like
Yeah.
that could have been like anthrax or something, and no one would have known or cared.
Well, and it's like some people have speculated, like, is that some sort of powder to like lubricate stuff? Like, what is that powder? Well, we're going to show you. So what happens is I'm going to show you how to take apart a Nintendo 64 controller, and this is not that hard. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws.
Hold on.
On
How
the
many were in
back
the
here.
Genesis controller? It was only like 4,
Genesis
wasn't
was
it?
only 6.
6,
So
okay.
this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually, there's 9 screws.
There's 9 screws in
Okay.
this one. That's
And
the,
we're going to show you how to, once you undo all the screws on a Nintendo 64 controller, I'm going to move this one out of the way here. Once you move all the screws out of the way, this backing comes off, okay, and you're left with this.
man.
Okay, so this is the front, and this is what you're seeing
How
now.
have I never seen this
And
before?
the joystick is right here. Okay, and we're going to take this one because this one is, I don't know if it comes up quite on camera, but there's a little bit of white powder
see
in
it there, yeah.
Where there's a little
Right on the
white
bottom.
powder there, and we're going to have a look at why. So what we're going to do is we're going to undo this, right? And well, all there is there's 3 screws, a screw here, and a screw here, right? So we're going to undo these screws, and we're going to take the joystick out.
So when you're doing this, do you ever worry about harming anything in the controller? Like, is there anything you should be aware of?
No, you're not. Well, I mean, you obviously don't want to bend or cut any of the
tear any
wires
wires
that are in here, right? Like, you want to make sure that you avoid that for sure. So that's something that you're going to want to watch out for. And the other thing you're going to want to watch out for is you're going to, obviously just make sure you keep everything together, that you don't lose anything. So I've undone those screws, and then there's this little piece right here. Okay, and we're going to take that. We just got to you take a little flathead screwdriver and you stick it in between where the piece kind of connects there. And it'll slowly start to come. I might have to, there
Oh,
we
I
go.
see. You like pry it open.
Yeah, you pry it open, right? And then that little part comes off just like that.
Crazy.
Okay.
And so that's the joystick mechanism. I
That's
guess,
the
or-
joystick.
right?
This
Okay.
thing right here, this little blue thing, right? This is the actual Z button. And there's 2 little clips. You just kind of pull them apart, and this will just kind of come off.
And so that's, again, the Z button being the trigger button.
Yeah,
So
that's the
you
trigger
one of
button.
these, whatever.
That's right.
Okay.
So this will kind of come off now, and then what you do is all you got to do is you take it. I usually grab by this, and you take the joystick and just pull it. I don't know if I can grab it here. It's hard. I'm trying to do it so everybody can see it on camera,
Yeah,
but
it's
you
all
you
good. You're
pull
doing
it.
great, man. This is, I don't
Might
don't
have
see
to
too many people
undo
do
this little screw a little bit more, and that comes out.
There it
like
is.
that.
Woo!
Okay, and I let these screws fall out, and this right here.
Does it always
is
feel like we're
your-
doing like a
That's your joystick.
one of those bomb diffusions?
Yeah, I know. It's like the clock's going off. Which wire do I got? Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Well, we're
I
gonna
was
open
back.
this up right now, and what there is on the joystick. There's a little screw right here. Okay, and we're just gonna take it and we're gonna open it up.
Inside another. It's like Inception.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna undo this, and you want to hold it together because the moment that you undo that screw, if you can see it on the camera, it's starting to pop apart
Yeah.
because there's a spring in there. So as you undo the screw, the spring wants to pull it apart more. So I like to keep it together, and that screw's gonna come out.
Sound like me in real life, just always trying to keep.
And
it
now,
together.
whoops, there it is right there. That screw just came out. Now you have your joystick, so the front of it's coming apart here, and the back side you have these 2 clips right here. I have a clip here and a clip here.
Okay.
And they just bend back. They bend back. See if I can show it. They bend back, and you just slowly work it out until essentially it comes apart.
Okay.
Okay, now, inside there, here's your joystick right here, right?
And now it looks like it's got no depth because it's sunk
right,
into the
exactly.
hole there. Okay.
And this right here is where the tip of your joystick, the bottom of it, sits inside here. And if you look inside, okay, this little part that goes across right here, this black part, do you see that?
Oh, yeah.
That's actually black, but it's covered in white powder. And you can take that out. It comes out quite easily, okay? And you can see that it's covered in white powder.
It is.
Okay. Well, the reason why, and actually if we want, we can take this little circuit board off, and we take this little thing out here, and you can see that this thing has a whole bunch of white powder inside of there. Okay? Right.
What the heck? So what is it?
And I can actually dump it right out onto the table here. I can dump it,
Look at this.
and you'll
Look
see
at
that. You'll see that. What is that white
What
powder?
is it?
Well, what that is inside here, right? So you have your joystick that sits inside, and it kind of sits inside just like that, okay?
Yep.
And so when you move your joystick around, right, your joystick rubs up against this white concave section here.
So
okay.
Can I make a guess?
You can guess right now.
The powder is beat up plastic from moving the stick.
That's right. It's literally ground
What is
up
it?
plastic from your joystick constantly rubbing against the area that holds it in place.
And including all the times you throw and smash your controller too, it probably takes
there's
bigger.
a few of those,
bigger
right? And so that powder, so that's what that white powder is.
Yeah.
So, and because it's literally chewing up the plastic, that's how your joystick starts to go limp.
Yeah, 'cause
because
it's making holes in
all the friction
protection,
is starting to grind down the parts, and you're actually also going to notice it a little bit here. This is the joystick, right? And it's got a spring right here. Okay, it's got a spring right there, and if I push on that spring, the joystick kind of comes out.
Pops up.
But you start to see these parts here, okay, this part here, and this
Yeah.
part here, all covered in white powder,
it.
and it starts to wear it down. So that's what. So now, how do we fix that?
Here we go.
Okay, so we got to fix that. So I have another controller here. Right, this is a different controller. We're just going to kind of move this out of the way. This is another controller here, and I have already taken the joystick out of there. Okay,
Oh, dude, this is
so I've
like
taken the
cooking
joystick
shows.
out. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of what it is.
It's
Only
got
it's
one
for video
prepared
games.
already in the-
So,
in
and
the
remember
oven.
the screw right here. We're going to take this out. Okay, and what we're going to do is again, this joystick is slowly going to pop off here, and this doesn't. I mean, we're going to do this in 10 minutes. It takes a little practice at first.
Clearly.
right?
Well, you can definitely tell you've done this before.
But anybody who who kind of works at it, again, there's the screw that fell down there. I'll just put that over there. Then you got the little clips right here, right? This clip and that clip. You kind of pull that out of there, okay? And so again, there's the joystick, and right here is the cavity where the joystick, the other end of the joystick sits inside, okay?
Okay.
And these ones here, this joystick is nice and firm, the one that we just pulled out of here, because as you'll notice, this part here, there's no white powder in there. This hinge here is actually black, right? I can even pull it off.
Look at
right?
that.
I can take that joystick out, and I can take this
It looks
piece
totally
out
different.
here, right? It's
Yeah.
actually black, okay? And I can take this out here, and you don't have any
Powder.
You don't have any powder in there, right? Okay.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do
Transplant.
is what would sort of help or prevent the powder? What would prevent the grinding up?
Some lube.
sort of lubricant.
Yes.
Right? So what you can do is go to a little hobby shop and you pick up something like this. Okay. This is a lubricant that you would use for things like model trains or
Okay.
RC cars or anything like this.
Yep.
I bought this actually a few years ago, and it's not expensive. It's like $8, right? It's not very much. Okay.
Good
and what
investment.
you're gonna do is I'm gonna just move this over. I'm gonna put this down here. I'm gonna unscrew the lid. And what you want to do is this is a black kind of grease. Okay. It's a grease. And all you're going to do is you're just going to squeeze some of it and put it right in to that little cavity there. Okay, and I'll show it to you at the end. Okay. So now you can see There's some grease in there. And we're just going to take and just move it around a little bit. Okay. Okay. And so now you have some grease so that when the joystick is sitting in there, okay, right, when the joystick is sitting in here, instead of grinding up all these, grinding up the plastic here from the area it sits in, the grease will stop that. Okay.
Amazing.
The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your joystick. Because, by the way, you can't buy Nintendo controllers anymore. I mean, you got to save the ones you got, right? So we're just going to take this, and what we're going to do is we're going to put some lubricant. We're going to put it right on the tip of the joystick, okay? And we're also going to put it on the parts that control the movement and that rubs on it, right? And we're going to put that in there. And by the way, you know, you don't want to use too much, but you know, there's no such thing as really as too little either.
Yeah.
Because at
you don't
the
have
end
to
of
go
the
back
day,
in.
yeah, and at the end of the day, if you put too much in, the worst that's going to happen is you'll get a little grease that will come up instead of white powder.
Yeah.
And that's easy to wipe away, and it's better that because that doesn't hurt your controller.
We're used to grease, man. Pizza grease,
There you
same
go.
thing. Anything
Exactly,
grease, that
exactly.
just helps you play
exactly.
better. Yeah.
So then what we do is we're going to put this, now that we got a little bit of grease in there, we're going to put it back in like so. Okay, I just got to make sure that goes in there. And then you put, next thing you do is you put the little circuit board in there, and the circuit board just sits on two little, I want to say two little posts, one right there and one right there. Yeah. Okay. And then what we're going to do is remember that we have one little hinge here, here, right? And that little hinge, and I'll even put a little bit of grease on this just to make sure. Where did my little grease bottle go? There we go. You know, put a little bit of grease on this hinge, right? And it's just squeezing a few little droplets out there. You don't need a ton, but you know, it's sort of just enough to cover it up there, okay? Then we're going to put this in here, and it goes like that. There we go. Okay. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we'll take our joystick, and we'll put our joystick inside like that, okay?
Perfect.
And now I'm going to screw this shut because I got to get that little screw in there because it's spring loaded.
I was going to say, yeah, so it's still trying to push off,
right,
eh?
'cause it's still trying to push off.
Okay.
So you put that in there, okay?
Lock them in.
And then,
Look
bingo.
at that.
Okay. And now what you have is you have a situation where your joystick, okay, is greased up.
Look at her
And,
go.
and by the way, here, I want you to try it.
Okay.
I want you to try it and feel the joystick, and you'll feel that it moves very, very smoothly.
Yeah, it feels like it's like a new.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't, there's no
amazing.
rough spots or anything like that. And what this will do is this will make your joystick last a lot longer.
Yeah.
It won't go limp. Okay, I've had this controller for about 15 years. It is still quite tight, no problems with it. And that grease will help ensure that your plastic parts don't grind up. And then all you really have to do after that is take it and then put it, you know, back in your controller. And that's not that hard to do. You just pop the back of the controller off, and then here, I can do it quickly here. You pop it back, pop the back of your, oh, come on. You know, there's always one screw that wants to bother you.
Makes for good TV, though.
There you go. Yeah. Hey, there you go. Hey.
It's supposed to be fast.
There you go. So all you do is you're just going to put your joystick back in the controller, and it's easy to put back in, right? Like there's kind of only one way you can do it. You know, you put it back in just like that, right?
Boom and boom.
Put this little part,
Like that
remember
blue one that
this
you
little
pried
part
out?
here,
Yeah.
right? This little blue part that I pried. The Z button just kind of goes back in there like so, right? Just like it sort of just pops in there like that, right?
See, this would be so intimidating to just
Well,
try to
for
do this
some
on your
people-
own. You know
for
what I
some
mean?
people it is. I
Yeah.
mean, but you know, I found, first of all, you know, I found that it's not as hard. It's a lot easier than it looks, to be honest with you. And then also once you've done it, I mean, you got 7 or 8 years extra out of your controller.
Yeah, well, it's good value.
Now-
It's just smart business.
Yeah. Now I always recommend every 7 or 8 years to go in and redo it, right? Just because it's one, it's good to check, but two, obviously over time, you know, grease
Wear and
becomes weaker
tear,
and weaker,
yeah.
right? So I would say that maybe once every 7 or 8 years, just go in and check and just add a little bit of grease, but you will not have that white powder problem anymore.
That's so
And your joysticks will last way, way longer. So we put this back together. It goes on, and then, oops, there we go, just like that. Screws are a little.
Sort of looks like 3 dolphin heads there.
What's that?
The way you're holding the controller, it sort of looks like 3 dolphin heads like swimming through the ocean.
Yeah, getting ready to move.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look at those guys.
So there we go. I'll
You
just
have
tighten.
blowholes.
I'll tighten a couple of these down, and then that's.
Hey.
It'll snap together,
Yeah,
folks.
it'll
snap.
let you know.
It'll snap together. So we put that in there, and now you have a joystick that
And
is
it's working.
perfectly good.
Look at that.
Right. You can
Look
use
at
that.
that.
You're never gonna have to, you're never gonna have the white powder problem. If you have a little grease that comes up in there, that's fine.
Perfect. That's
The
it's
grease is
working.
That's exactly right. And that's what you want, right?
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
what you want. I think that's the one thing. If Nintendo had a flaw, it's that they never put any lubricant in
Yeah.
there, and that's why you get that powder stuff that grinds all up, and it's frustrating. So
Frustrating.
once you get that in there, you get your controller, sort of put together, then you're essentially, set to go. So that's how you fix a Nintendo 64 controller and make sure that the joystick is always working properly. And your Nintendo 64 controllers, they will last infinitely longer. And then that way you won't be the guy sitting there, man, where can I find a Nintendo 64? And these are original Nintendo controllers, by the way.
Yeah.
These are original Nintendo controllers. So now you know where that white powder comes from, what causes it, why it causes your joystick to go limp and not work, and how you can fix it. So if you have a good one, that's what you want to do. Save it while it's good. Put a little bit of grease
Keep
in
it
there.
good.
Grease it all up. It'll be nice. Remember some hobby grease. You can get this at a hobby store in Saskatoon. I found it. It's not that hard to find, not that expensive. It takes a little bit of work, but you're going to have another 10 years to play your N64. It'll be great.
The only people that are going to hate this are guys like Network Ryan who only live off the excuse of, the controller.
You can't blame the controller now.
Those days are
Can't
over.
blame it now. Those days are
Absolutely
over.
not.
No, absolutely. We fixed them. So there you go. That's the unlocked secret of Nintendo 64 joysticks and controllers. And over the next number of weeks, we're going to look at other controllers from other systems. And then we're also going to show you, I'd like to show everybody how you can take that Nintendo or Super Nintendo
Yes.
and make it gray again without having to paint it.
Get
because
rid of the yellow.
You can't, because you
Yeah.
get those yellow,
Yeah.
those yellowed systems, and they don't. They don't.
They don't look good.
No, they don't look
don't
good. You
look
don't
good.
want that. So all
Quick
right.
one before we go here.
Yeah.
What's your favorite N64 game?
Like ever of all time?
All time.
Oh man.
You can have a couple, because I know it's an impossible question.
Like Mary. I have to think
Right?
it's Super Mario 64.
See,
I just
everybody-
think that's the best game.
And some people, not just on the system, some people call that the
Yeah.
best Mario game ever.
Yeah. I think that's Super Mario 64, and probably. I don't know. Like Mario Kart is really
Yeah.
good. Mario Kart's awesome. What's another? I mean, there's so many good games.
Are you a Zelda guy?
I love the Zelda.
The Ocarina
Zelda
of
was
Time,
really
yeah,
good.
Ocarina's
I
incredible.
remember playing like Wayne Gretzky hockey
Yeah,
on
or Madden
there,
NFL.
or Madden NFL, and they
Yeah.
had NFL Blitz where you could like
Oh,
do all the heavy
arcade
hits and
style,
stuff like
yeah.
that. I mean, there were so many good games.
Too many.
Blast Corps, Bomberman.
There we go.
Bomberman was awesome.
Yeah.
So many afternoons crushed playing Bomberman.
They just took that, and you're so right.
Yeah.
That game went from like the Nintendo and the Game Boy to
Yeah.
sort of like, holy cow.
Yeah, it
you can
exploded.
Bomberman like
It
this, like
exploded.
just the
Yeah.
graphics alone
yeah,
was such
4 players going at it.
Yeah. They're firing up. Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
baby.
I still haven't thought of a fun name of the segment yet. Fixing stuff.
Fix them up with Maddie. I
Fix
don't
them
know.
up with Maddie. We'll start with
Hey,
that. We'll make a new one every week.
We'll do something.
That's
It can
perfect.
be new each day. It can be new each Thursday.
CTV's Matt Young. He's here every Thursday, brother. Thank you so much. I always appreciate it, and this is really cool stuff. And I'm so glad you're bringing this to the network and to your show because it's really cool. And
Yep.
there's not many places to find stuff like this, especially
There's-
locally.
And,
so.
and a whole lot more coming. Very
Yes.
simple stuff that you can do at home and have a good time. And next Thursday, we're going to do it all again with another system.
Woo! Look very forward to it, brother. Thank you again,
You
man.
got her.
I absolutely love that man right there. CTV's Matt Young every Thursday stopping by with all the coolest stuff. And it's always, always so much fun. So thank you again to him as the Thursday edition, aka episode 101 of your show continues. We got my dude here. And he was a big part of the celebration yesterday. You know him from the viewing room. You know him from being the worst player in this entire damn family at Super Smash Brothers. You know him as the man who has stolen my heart. And you also know him as one of the greatest dudes in the universe. Ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves a dragon!
Did you say I was the worst at Super Smash
Yeah,
Bros?
that's what I said.
What? I didn't. Really?
Yeah.
You know, we played
Did you
for.
see that swipe that LB did again?
I know.
He's
It's
the
like.
king
I
of
feel like I was in
swipes, bro.
Star Wars for a
So
second.
good.
I was waiting for like a John Williams
do that next
orchestra
time.
somewhere.
Oh, can we try one where I go with it and use the force? I guess it'll be like this. Like this. Can we do it on 3? 1, 2.
What are we swiping to?
This time back. 1, 2, 3. Oh, now we're going back.
Oh,
we'll
wait.
practice.
Wait.
That's pretty good. We'll practice. No, we're done. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I'm offended now because
I told the truth.
You know what?
Oh.
It was 5-4, so we'll take that. And also, we were playing with teammates, and in the 40 minutes we played, in the 50 minutes we played,
Yeah.
I didn't drop out of first place individual once.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're on, buddy.
Nah, nothing. That's the problem, I think. Straight sober. I long for those days when I used to do this on the moon, live from planet Pluto. Here's your show for the first month and a half until we detoxed. But all for the best, as we do also sober now, and it's worked out very well.
Yeah, well, I don't know. You drink enough Monster that I don't think you're sober.
How come they're not sponsoring us yet? We got the Loco today, the Mango Loco.
But yeah, life's going good. LB,
Tell us why. Tell us
LB
why.
came
Here we
over
go.
last night. I made a very big purchase yesterday
Yes,
with
he did.
LB, and
Bought his heart.
I went to good old Memory Express, and
Love them so much. They built this place.
yeah, I dropped $2,600 on a new computer.
Sounds familiar, hey LB?
To which Adam told my mom, "No, that's a very entry level computer. Don't worry." And I was like, "All right, mom or Adam."
Well, you gotta, you don't want to let them know you bought like one of the best gaming computers you can get.
But I did.
You gotta work on your subtlety a bit, sir.
Yeah. Well.
Or maybe not. I love you the way you are.
Yeah. I spent too much.
How much did you put together compared to what's the percentage compared to LB?
I like to think that since I held the screwdriver and the flashlight sometimes, that I did a lot more than people like to think. But
Okay.
I'd say give it a 95.5. Adam,
That's not bad.
Adam is incredibly good at it. He's
Yeah.
super talented. He's fantastic, and I'm running out of adjectives.
Dude, when we built the one, like the heartbeat of this entire operation, and I say the term we, but we all know that's not true. I think it was about 120% and minus 20 of me. Like I was holding him back, so we had to do 20% extra just to build
Well,
it.
you want to know something? You would let me screw in some of the screws after he got it
To
mounted.
make you feel nice.
And I kept dropping these stupid screws down the frame of the computer, and having to use his magnetic screwdriver to grab it out of there, and I was so embarrassed.
Sounds like you had a great helper. I think he knows how all the plumbers felt when I used to help them back in the day with nickel plumbing and heating. Best plumbing in the business. The same way, just getting in the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it's tough.
I think I definitely got in the way. But to be fair, it was a good learning experience. He was showing me a lot of how to do. Maybe next time I won't. I'm gonna need him next time, but
We all need our LB. I know.
It was a good experience. It was fun, and it went up relatively quickly. And I've been testing today, and it's
know,
fantastic.
There's not too many people that I know, not just personally, but like on Earth, that in one day could start the morning, flying an airplane, middle of the day, build you a supercomputer, and at the end of the night go for a quick little scuba dive for fun. And he's like a minor still? No? He's
Just
an
there.
adult now, I guess. But isn't that crazy to say?
I know.
Just think about that.
It's just like a permanent side quest, and he's
incredible.
living it, and I'm kind of for it. And
I love it.
I want to talk about how far technology has gone now,
Tell me more.
because I got this cool cooler thing in the computer now.
Cooler
And I'll
thing?
make this quick. Yeah, it's like a liquid cooler. So
Oh, sort of like a fan to keep it cold.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking
sure,
like
sure, sure.
something for your drinks. Okay, continue.
yeah, I just pour a little bit of a Dasani water bottle over my computer every morning, and that's kind of what cools it. And Adam's flipping me off from the booth.
Yeah, right for yourself. There he is.
But it's so cool because it has this little screen that can say the temperature, but you can change it to put images on it, right?
So hold on, is this like an alert system with the colors and like terror threats?
No,
No, so it doesn't go like bright red when it's about to blow up.
no, I don't think so. Maybe I haven't tested that yet, but we could.
Interesting. That
But
might be fun.
I loaded a little GIF onto it, and I put the Stewie Griffin from Family Guy one.
Of course.
And so it's the one where he's in the straitjacket, rocking back and forth. I sound insane, but I was like, it's like he's inside my computer, so he's like trapped inside my computer, and yeah, technology is really crazy. Like as I say that, I'm like, I have an animated picture sitting inside of my computer of a fictional baby in a straitjacket. And this is what I did with my life.
Speaking of, real quick, before we get to our next previously recorded segment, the viewing room. What dropped here on last Tuesday? What are people going to see when they head out and see you guys?
We're looking at Fight Club.
Ah, yes. Don't
week.
talk about it.
Next week, we have Happy Gilmore. Look at that transition.
Perfect. All right, we're going to leave it there. His name is Dragon. We love you so much, brother. Thank you again for all that you do. You're amazing. And we will, I guess, see you after the show for one more quick beatdown. Oh, no, you have to leave soon. You have to leave right now. Okay, I love you. Say hi to your family for us.
Appreciate you.
Okay. He's Dragon. Woo! Oh, I missed it. I wanted to go with it. Love you. Love this guy. And he didn't even hit the TV. We got another member of this family who was out and about doing all the stuff that he normally does yesterday during the 100th episode of your show. His name is Croker, and he has a podcast called the Sask Food and Sports Podcast, and I was so grateful and fortunate to be a part of that podcast, which will be dropping tomorrow, but we also recorded the video portion of the whole thing, and then we broke that down into a couple little segments to get you ready for football season. So, LB, let's go ahead and throw it to our man, Croker.
AFC East. So, Buffalo, Miami, New England, and the Jets. Patriots, we can pretty much write them off. I think they're just going to be, like, all their quarterback drama with Brissett and Drake May.
Once they get that figured out, look out.
Why
I don't
would
know
you say
why.
look out, though? But, like, what do they have?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's just the Patriots, man.
Their running back's good.
My brain, Ramondre Stevenson.
Stevenson's good.
My brain is just formatted to never doubt the Patriots. And I know that whole Mac Jones thing was a lot of fun because most of us hate the Patriots.
Year.
Yeah,
they
they're really bad.
They sucked with the best coach in the NFL last year.
I think the quicker they hand the reins over from Brissett to May, the better they're going to be. I think this is one of those
There's
situations
rumors that May might start week one, too. Like they say, kind of beat Jacoby Brissett. So.
If he wins that QB comp, let him go. I honestly feel, I'm not a Caleb Williams guy. I think I told you before. The second I heard he wanted to share in whatever team drafts him,
I remember
said, that's
that.
a horrible
We were sitting
player.
right here,
So I think he's going to be the biggest bust in the history of football. And I'm already eating those words because everyone's saying he's going to make it all.
He went 4-0 in the preseason.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's saying he's insane. Yeah,
man. He looks so good.
I will wear that if he proves me wrong. I just feel like he came in with all the wrong sort of headspace. And it's like, man, if you're gonna let a guy like that run your team, you're in big. Anyways, I'll get off this whole.
There's a podcast. Come on.
Well, I know, but what was I talking about? Why was I talking about Caleb Williams? I get so upset whenever I think about him.
Because we were talking about
quarterbacks, Drake May. Yes, thank you.
Drake May.
So Drake May, I think, is going to be the top quarterback. I think he's going to be better than Jaden Daniels too in Washington.
You're the only person I've heard have this opinion.
And it's so weird because I haven't heard anyone else say it either. I just have this weird feeling that Drake May, just watching his tape, and I don't know what it is, but something about that guy makes me think that he's going to win games. And when I look at Jaden Daniels, it's a rebuild sort of Washington, whatever the Commanders are going to be.
They just traded Dotson too. It's just I don't know.
It just looks like it's going bad for them. So I don't think he's going to be very successful. And I have to say that Caleb Williams won't be because I'm on the record saying he's going to make everyone forget about Ryan Leaf as a bust, so I got to stand by that. I think if Drake May is going to be the best quarterback of this draft, that means New England's going to be very good as well.
There's never really been a good quarterback come out of North Carolina, though. That's my problem. Like, you look at the past three quarterbacks that have come out there, Mitch Trubisky.
That's a tough one.
Right?
Yeah.
You got Sam Howell, who went to Washington, didn't work out, and then Drake May. So that's the past three, and all of them have been, these are the guys. And they're just not. They're just not the guys, right?
And everything I said.
Even way back to, Darian Durant played for North Carolina, right? But good quarterback, not an NFL guy. I don't know if there's ever been a good, solid NFL quarterback from North Carolina. They're just not a quarterback school.
Yeah.
They're kind of like an imposter quarterback school where they've had some guys be drafted, but it just hasn't worked out, especially recently, right? Bills or Dolphins? Who do you think's winning this division?
Oh, man.
Maybe Or do the Jets like if Aaron Rodgers
the
stays
biggest-
healthy? I think
that's-
that's the biggest question this year in the NFL. What are the Jets going to do if Aaron Rodgers is healthy? How good are they?
How good can you be? Because literally
lot of talent.
everything about that team came together last year without him at the helm.
They were still pretty good. They were in
Yeah,
games. They
that's
were
what
in
I mean.
games.
That defense is incredible, and we all know how good Aaron Rodgers can be. That dude, he can chuck.
Mm-hmm.
MVP, going to the Hall of Fame. The guy's won Super Bowls. He knows how to do it. Is the Achilles going to hold? Is he going to be healthy? That's the only question. I
He's
think
old balls.
if he stays healthy, they will make the playoffs. They might be as good as everyone has said they were going to be last year.
And they
I
got to play
wouldn't
the
rule that out.
They got to play the Dolphins twice. The
Yeah.
Dolphins again, defense but that offense. I mean,
And the Bills.
top 5 in
Yeah.
the NFL. And again, the Bills.
Yeah,
Everyone's
they're really
writing
good.
off the Bills because it's Diggs left. I think they're going to be better because Diggs left. And I know they had the other guy left too, Fred Davis.
Yep.
I think that was his name.
Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis.
Yeah.
Fred Davis.
Fred Davis,
I
good
was
name.
way off.
Well, the last name was-
Samsonite. But that's
Yes,
like they
sir.
they got no one, man. They'll figure it out. Josh Allen will.
I'm worried about Buffalo. I'm the guy
Yeah?
you're talking about. And it's not because
Defense is good.
the defense is great, and it's not because they lost. I think, like losing Diggs might have been a really good thing because it seemed like he was a bit of a issue guy.
But
you
now
know
I'm
what I
thinking
mean?
now they don't have anybody else.
That's the thing.
That's
Where do
the
the
thing,
weapons
right?
come from? Yeah, and
Old
that's what
old
we're.
Freddie's gone.
I drafted old Freddie Davis there too. Real name Gabe. And yeah, he might be starting for me. That's how bad that draft went. But where did Jacksonville? I think they sent him to.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
He signed there. Yeah.
Yes. Or sorry, signed there.
Where every
'Cause he wasn't
mediocre
well,
receiver
yeah,
seems
that's
to
where
go.
you go.
Yeah.
So I'll be riding him. But that offense worries me, and that's it. Like, are you a big fan of the running back they got there? Brother
it's,
of that other guy?
Cook, right?
Yeah, James
Dalvin
Cook.
Cook's brother. Yeah,
James
James
Cook.
Cook. I like
I love
like
how
the
we
way-
both do the brother.
Yeah, he runs violently. That's why I
Yeah.
like. If you're a running back, you need to run violently in the NFL because you need to be. The running back is like the goalie position in hockey. You need to be a little bit of a psycho
little
to be an
kooky.
NFL running back. If you're like a clean cut NFL running back, I don't want you on my team. I want a psycho foaming from the mouth. I'm just gonna put my head. I'm gonna play 3 years in the league, and I don't give a shit.
I'm
That's
gonna
what I
go
want
right
on my
through
running
you.
backs, right? I want a
Yeah.
bit of a crazy guy in my running backs. I think he's kind of like that, right?
Yeah.
Plus, it's in his, it's in his blood, right? So, I can see the Dolphins blowing it down the stretch. I don't know if I love that Mike McDaniel guy.
So cool.
He's so cool and so awesome. I bet you his shtick gets old real quick. I bet you I don't know. I don't if I was a player playing for him, I would love it at the start, but would that kind of get old if you're on a losing
If
streak
you're
and it's
losing,
buddy,
yeah.
can you rip into us or can you change, not just be this cool guy and mess with everybody
He said one of the, and you'll appreciate this, when I was at my lowest after being released.
Nice football term there. I was also released, placed on waivers. No one claimed me.
Unclaimed.
Unclaimed on the old waiver wire.
When I was
Dufferin Ave media wanted to pick me up, but
first overall pick. When I was going through all that and all the sadness and the darkness and stuff, he had an incredible quote talking. Basically, I wish I could pull it up for you because it's really good. But the gist of it was why would we ever teach our players the exact same plays and the exact same formations and do the exact same things that all the other teams are doing? If we do that, then people already know something about it. Why wouldn't you create something new that no one's ever done before, and then let them catch up to you instead of playing that game of we all pass around the same stuff? And again, it was worded a million times better than that, but it hit me. And
I was
it
going to say,
like-
I'm very inspired right now, Gary. I'm very inspired.
but the point was, don't do what everyone else is doing. Stand out and be different.
Yeah.
And if you stand out and be different, you will find success because no one else is doing it.
I remember, back in grade 8, grade 9, I hated being different.
That's it.
Well, not just because I was the only ginge, but just because I was super loud and, I liked sports, but I also liked writing and
Yeah.
music and everything like that. And I
Many
was like,
different
"Fuck, this
sides.
is weird, hey? I
a
was
weird
I should just be
Kroger
the
guy.
quarterback. I should just be the hockey player, right? No, man, you can like...
You
it's
were
like
those
CFL,
things, too.
NFL. You can like two things at the same time. I forgot
That's
my
it.
computer, by the way. That's why I'm looking at my phone for
Oh.
people who are watching.
Don't
Anyway.
you worry about him.
Yeah. AFC West time. Obviously, the Chiefs are going to win this division,
Can't argue.
right? I mean,
so
Broncos,
good.
they're in such a...
Bo Nix. I saw Zach Wilson was throwing for him.
Zach Wilson was like, I think we've set up Bo Nix pretty well here to succeed. Well, you know what it looks like to not be set up for success. So maybe he's on to something
We've
there.
seen it from the other
But Bo
side.
Nix, again, he has 4 years starting in college. He has all that experience,
He's looking
right?
good, man.
He's like the opposite of Trey Lance, where Trey
There you
Lance
go.
had like 10 games.
Yeah.
And, man, what a stinker of a preseason game that he had 5 picks, or like threw for 360. But he threw 5 picks and looked horrible.
Call it the
But that's the
Jameis
thing. It was like,
Winston,
man,
yeah.
you have 10 games, and it's like, let's take a flyer on this guy. Or it's Bo Nix. We know what he is. He's had 4 years as a starter.
Yeah.
And he has experience reading really, really good defenses. So, is it weird that I kind of believe in Bo Nix? And I don't like I don't like how creepy Sean Payton has been with Bo Nix, because he's been like, this is my guy, man. It's like, you had Drew Brees, like prime Drew Brees, where he could not miss a receiver. And it's like, man, this guy is just like one of the best quarterbacks ever. Really? Bo Nix? We'll see. But again, that's a defense that's got some weapons too. With like, they got one of the best corners in the league in Surtain there. They've always got a really, really tough defense. At home, they're really tough to play. Denver can surprise. The Chargers are just so... With Harbaugh there, you never know. Harbaugh could totally change everything there. Speaking of a team that has no weapons, they might have the worst receiving core in the league. They got one of the best quarterbacks, but they got one of the worst receiving cores and running back rooms in the league.
Yeah.
They have no one.
Who's there? I can't think of a single person.
They got Quentin Johnson. They got Josh Palmer, Canadian. But again, he's like a third receiver at best.
Yeah.
The only reason people up here know him is because he's Canadian. Like in the South, it's like, who is this guy? So
who's their running back?
Eckler's gone. He went to Washington.
You know who they're... Oh, no. That's at the Rams.
I don't know. Like, again, I don't know who they have.
This is bad.
I know. And defensively, Derwin James, Bosa, Mack.
Have you ever seen a team that's biggest star was their coach?
Well, Herbert. I'd say Herbert. I think Herbert's super underrated. I think he's had with Keenan Allen and with Hunter Henry, he's had Gates for a bit. Like, he's had some weapons in the past, but
Mike Williams.
Herbert is one of those guys where like his team is his biggest downfall. Herbert's sick and he can chuck. And he takes a beating. His O-line sucks.
That's the problem.
That's the thing. The Chargers are bad.
He gets hit hard.
How do they not get, how did they finish as high as they did last year?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they had 6 wins or 7, whatever. They had that. They picked Joe Alt. Like, at least they got some O-line help.
Trying to
It's a
help
rookie,
Herbs
but he's
out,
good,
yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't have a lot of faith in them this year. I love their jerseys, and I love Justin Herbert. But
I think you...
Are they going to finish below the Raiders?
Oh. It's another team.
I like Gardner Minshew. I like what he did for the Colts last year. He's a gutsy, gritty guy.
Was it Blake Bowers? The tight end?
Brock Bowers out of Georgia that they got.
tight end.
They got some okay receivers. Their defense is good with Crosby and everything like that. They got the Josh Jacobs is gone, but they brought in a running back, I think.
Yeah. Who was it?
Green Bay's old running back?
Aaron Jones? No, he's in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota. That's right. Again, no research going in this preview.
Sounds like the Raiders aren't
dudes
going to be very
dudes.
good.
Dudes being dudes.
This is how a fantasy football conversation
That's
goes.
why it's like, man, do we just pass the AFC West? The Chiefs going to win.
Yeah.
I don't see any of these other teams being in the wild card either. Like, it's just, and the fact that Chiefs get to play each of these teams twice.
Yeah.
That really benefits them because they've
feasting.
been bad for a while.
Feasting. That's
Right?
probably the worst division.
Man, like good, like the Chiefs just must be nice.
Hand it to them.
Must be freaking
Hand
nice,
it
eh?
to 'em.
AFC North. This
Here
is
we
going to
go.
be an interesting
Here we
division
go.
with the Ravens, Bengals, Browns. It's always an interesting division. You never know who's going to win this division going into the season.
I'm going to blow your mind right now. Steelers.
I was like, you're going to say the Browns.
No, I'm not that crazy.
Honestly, though, if Deshaun Watson can go back to like his 2018, 2019 form, is it that crazy to think that the Browns don't win this division?
Yes. And I will also say this. Our good friend Patrick Trumpy paid $12 auction for Nick Chubb.
That's a steal.
Well,
his
if he makes it
knees.
back.
Yeah.
But as a keeper, that could be a steal. I want to get your take on that real quick. So we don't even know how much he's going to play this year.
Yeah.
But to have him for the next 3 seasons.
But his legs are already, like, he's got a lot of traction on those legs, man.
And that injury was horrific.
I had him on all 3 of my teams last
course
year.
you did.
Wrecked me. Completely wrecked me.
I've been there.
Like, I've had a lot invested in
Yeah.
Nick Chubb the past 3 years. Wrecked me. But,
so do you think Mr. Trumpy is going to be good or bad with that buy? Because he outbid me for it. I thought I was being
man,
sneaky.
Nick Chubb's a different animal. Nick
Yeah.
Chubb's a
If he
freak.
plays,
and
he
like,
goes.
man, he's a world-class sprinter, and he is as thick as a door.
Yeah, he's amazing.
He's like if you built a running back on Madden, it would be
He's the
Nick
guy.
Chubb. It
Yeah.
would, minus his helmet. His helmet sucks. He wears a Zenith and no visor. His equipment game could use some work.
Isn't a Zenith a TV?
No, it's well, they got in the helmet game as well.
Of course.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
Yamaha there and everything.
Everything.
Yeah, tubas and motorcycles were Yamaha.
Why not?
And outboard boat motors for some reason.
All the important ones.
French horns,
Okay.
motorcycles.
Legit.
Yeah,
Legit.
Same with
Pianos,
Zenith. I'm
acoustic
pretty sure
guitars.
it's different. Zenith with an X.
I'm with you. There you
Hate
go.
their helmets. But Nick Chubb,
It was
man, I think if Deshaun Watson can get back to that like Pro Bowl level,
Yeah.
he's got Amari Cooper there.
They got some weapons.
He's got Njoku's a very underrated tight end who people have been saying he's going to make the jump for 3 years. When's he going to make the jump?
I wrote that a couple
Defense is
times.
solid with Myles Garrett, and they got a pretty good secondary as well. If Deshaun Watson, if they get good quarterback play, what's stopping them?
Well,
The fact they're the Browns.
that's one.
Yeah.
I had a guy who would text in every year.
That's one.
And I would talk about anybody who's believing the hype about the Cleveland Browns, just please stop. Until they win something, I'm done buying into it. I've been fooled enough. And there was one person in Saskatoon who called himself the Cleveland Browns fan. And he would text in all the time. He's like, you're wrong this year. And after about 5 years, he's like, all right, Gary, you're right this time. And then that was it.
Yeah.
But the point is, until they do anything, I will never believe in that team. They've been nothing but losers their entire since Tim Couch, since they drafted Tim Couch as their first.
Oh, it was long
pick as
before
a
that,
first-
Gary.
Well,
long
no,
before that. But the Bernie Kosar days.
yeah,
where they-
like I'm
again,
talking the new
Yeah.
Cleveland Browns.
Like again, they talk about a snake-bitten franchise. Again, having
can't
to
do
move
it.
to Baltimore and not having a team. But even before that, like the drive
And then
from John
coming
Elway
back
going
and all
93
that,
yards,
yeah.
the fumble, like
There's a lot.
right? They're just snake-bitten. But at the same, the past 12 years, it seems like every second year, it's like look out for the Browns.
Yeah.
It's not the same old. This isn't your grandpa's Browns.
And it always is.
Yeah, it is. It's still my great-grandpa's Browns.
So-
That's for sure. Steelers, what like
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Now,
they're so interesting. I think they're
I'm
the most interesting team going into this year.
I wish I could have had your Magic Fanny Pack. Shout out to PlayNow.com.
Absolutely.
As I got some early money down on the Steelers to win this exact division. And I put another little tickle on them to win the Super Bowl just because. I am so excited to see what this team can do with actual quarterback play. And not just any
But
quarterback.
are they going to get actual quarterback play?
Russell Wilson
Oh, man.
and Justin Fields.
Oh.
Give each of these dudes half a playbook. Say, this one's yours. You're Mr. Mobile. This one's yours. You're Mr. Pocket.
Yeah.
We come in, and we throw both of these guys at you. Justin Fields single-handedly won me games when he was with Chicago.
He did.
That dude was on the field. He was
well, you're
putting up
talking
points.
fantasy football.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Over here, this ain't Chicago.
Yeah.
This is Mike Tomlin. This is a coach who hasn't had a losing season since he started coaching in Pittsburgh, including last year.
Mm-hmm.
They were supposed to go like 0-18 or whatever the hell it was, and he still had a winning record, which is insane to me.
Yeah.
This dude comes out and makes the playoffs. That's what the Pittsburgh Steelers do, and he does it with Kenny Pickett's. He does it with all these other jabronis, Mason Rudolph's, dudes that are not real quarterbacks. You put a guy with the experience of Russell Wilson, a guy with the explosivity of Justin Fields,
Great word.
you're going to have yourself some fun football.
And also,
that
too, like-
defense is always there. They got the weapons. They're going to go.
They always have just like this super diamond in the rough skill player, right?
Yeah.
Like going back to Le'Veon Bell, and then they get Najee
Yeah,
Harris, who
yeah.
again he has slowed down. He's
Well,
not going to be the same guy.
that's
But
why you
they
got
have George
Jalen
Pickens,
Warren.
and you got
You got
Jake, and you got
all these
Pickens in
guys,
there.
yeah,
They
Georgie.
always have one freak on the offense, right?
Yeah.
They have it's like the Steelers' offense will be kind of built like the defense, and then they have one freak. And then forever it was just Big Bren, get it to the freak.
Yeah.
Right? Get it to Hines Ward, get it to
Antonio,
Plexico, whoever,
yeah, all those
right?
guys.
Antonio Brown,
Yeah.
have the one freak on the team, get it to
And
them.
then go.
Pickens is their freak, but Pickens is also like
He still needs to prove himself.
he's a typical new age receiver, right? Give me the ball 9 times a game, or else I'm
and that-
going to be upset.
And I don't want to block.
But again,
which was an issue.
we haven't even talked about the Bengals and the Ravens. So like, I think those are the two teams that are going to compete for the division.
Those should be the two
Who's
best.
better between the two?
Well, on paper, it's got to be Baltimore. Just
With,
because,
especially with Derrick Henry in there now too.
yeah, man, they're going to be scary.
I can't wait to see what that offense is going to look like.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to be in gun? Are they going to be in the
Maybe
eye?
there's too many weapons there. That might be the
Well, they don't
classic
have
case of too many.
Yeah, receivers, Hollywood Browns there. Yeah.
And they got Zay Flowers, Zay
Yeah,
Jones.
Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. They're coming off an injury year. They are
they
loaded,
got
and they got a good O-line.
Yeah, man, they're thick.
And Lamar Jackson. Excuse the burp there. Sorry.
Yeah,
But
didn't,
yeah,
didn't
like-
Lamar win the MVP last year?
Yeah, he did. Pretty sure. Yeah.
So you
Pretty
got your
good- pretty
MVP
good player.
quarterback.
Pretty good
So
player.
Baltimore on paper should win. Now, how are you feeling about Joe Burrow?
I think that he is going to be the best quarterback in the league. This
Here
year.
we go. Okay, now we're cooking.
People have completely forgot about Joe
Yeah,
Burrow.
big time.
Because again, he went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago,
Yep.
and that season was electric. Like he didn't miss. He was so accurate. He's like a
So
like
good.
a Drew Brees. He doesn't miss. The wrist thing happens. The knee thing happens. I still think, like, man, he's just, the arm's rested. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. And the thing is, there's not a lot of pressure. No one's really talking about Cincinnati. It's not like Joe Burrow needs to show up. Everyone knows he's good. He's proven in the league. He's settled. So it's like, man, he's going to go out there and just play, like, relaxed football. And good quarterbacks who are pissed off playing relaxed, whoo. Yeah. I think Joe Burrow, and again, his receivers are pretty dang good, too. Jamar Chase, anybody?
T. Higgins?
See, their O-line, not the best, right? They've been working on it. They've been bringing in some guys.
Yeah.
And their defense, definitely not on the level of the Ravens. But I think when it comes down to playoff football, I would rather take Joe Burrow than Lamar Jackson.
And that, I think, says it all.
But, like, Lamar, what has he done in the playoffs?
That's the problem.
And Joe Burrow, again, he lost a Super Bowl, but he's gone to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Lamar is a great regular season quarterback. He doesn't have that factor in the playoffs. You can game plan. If you have a good defensive coordinator, you can make an awesome game plan around Lamar. And I don't think he's going to battle back in the second half if you stop him. I think he gets really rattled. I don't think he rebounds well in the second half.
I like that.
I don't know, but I think Joe Burrow's the kind of guy that would. And I don't know why, but it just seems like, man, if you can stop Lamar Jackson and, like, have him have a rough start, I feel like he doesn't rebound that well. But if Lamar Jackson has a good start and a good first quarter, you're toast. Because then they're just going to start having fun, and they're just going to start being, we're lighting it up and just.
Are you saying he's mentally weak a little bit?
A little bit.
Interesting.
I wouldn't say weak. I'd just say, like, yeah, maybe a little weak. Actually, weeks maybe. I don't know. He's just not built for playoff football. I just don't think he's built for playoff football. I just think he
not super, just a little.
He raises the expectations too high. He plays too well in the season. He plays too well in the regular season. He raises his expectations too high, and he can't meet those expectations in the playoffs because playoff football is just a new beast. Yeah. So that's his thing, where he plays so well in the regular season. You need to hit that other level. I don't know if he has that other level. I think he wastes it in the regular season.
And he's had a couple opportunities.
I am also the pick six king of Canada. So what the fuck do I know?
So Baltimore.
I'm picking the Bengals.
Nice, and I'm taking the Steelers. We're not even taking
the
Baltimore.
Bengals remind me of, like, the Philadelphia Eagles when they got Vince Young and Osamo, that one year, the super team. Remember they were, we're the super team. I kind of like they got Derrick Henry and a couple other big pieces. I think everyone's like, oh man, look at this, how many. Too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing.
That's it, man.
Last AFC division. My team. Indy, Houston, Jacksonville, Tennessee.
Man, I love Houston. I also took C.J. Stroud in 5 of my drafts last year.
I'd pick him as MVP.
Oh, yeah.
I have a couple of little flyers on him because I think he's going 15-1 or something like that for MVP. Man, I think he's going to win MVP.
That's a great number.
He's so good.
That's a great number.
He's so good.
And they added.
And look at his receiving core. Diggs, Tank Dell. There's one more guy we're missing in there, too.
Nico Collins. And one more. Noah.
Line.
Something. Yeah, Nico Collins always so underrated.
He's gonna have a year.
Yeah, and then they got Dalton Schultz there, tight end.
Yeah, they did bring in Schultz.
Yeah, and then they also got a running back too, didn't they? Who's the running back they got that's taking over for Dameon Pierce because Dameon Pierce broke everyone's heart.
They did get a running back though. You are right. I forget who it is.
Well, it'll come to me.
No, that was last year.
Devin Singletary.
They got a running back. Regardless, they got a running back.
This is going to bug me, though, because he's really good.
This is the thing that's going to bug me, too. I'm not going to pretend that it's not.
I'm taking the Texans, and you'll also be happy to hear this. Total side note, but on the division. In my keeper draft that I have for the Daffle with the bigger Trumpy, Pistol Pete, we have one keeper, and you can keep anybody that's taken after the 4th round, so 5th round and up. From the previous draft, you can keep.
Yeah.
I got Jonathan Taylor in the 6th round last year.
What?
So I have Jonathan Taylor as my keeper, but I also don't have any picks in the first 3 rounds because I traded them all away.
That's tough. Hey, that's
anyway,
next year, Gary's problem. That's not whatever. Live in the now. Live in the now.
But to answer your question, Texans. I'm taking the Texans.
Everyone's taking the Texans.
And I'm sorry.
And, like, everyone's taking the Texans, obviously. But, like, you forget the Colts have Jonathan Taylor. You get the Colts have Anthony Richardson. The Colts have Michael Pittman. The Colts have a very good O-line led by Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
Like, they're pretty good. Defense.
How many O-linemen? How many O-linemen can you name from the Indianapolis Colts?
We have Ryan Kelly at center. We have Quentin Nelson at left guard. We have Costanzo at left tackle, I still think. Maybe he retired last year, actually. No, Costanzo's still there. No, he's not. Well, 2. That's not bad.
That's what a true fan sounds like.
That's not bad.
You ready to punch yourself in the nuts with me?
What?
Joe Mixon, one of the top running backs.
One of the
top running backs in fantasy last 4 years. We didn't even know.
how did we? That was a huge acquisition.
That's a bad miss
again,
by us.
I agree. I agree that the Texans are going to win the division, but you got to give the other teams in there a little bit of credit. Everyone,
Absolutely.
Texans, they're good. But man, the Colts have legitimate Pro Bowl players that are good.
I will say
Same with
this.
now,
If if Richardson, Anthony Richardson,
Yeah.
stays healthy, they will win the division. I think they are that good. I'm just worried
I think
about
so too,
the,
but I don't think
that's
he's gonna
hard,
be healthy.
right?
Well,
That's why I have to take Houston.
I love the guy. I just don't think he's ever going to be healthy.
When
I
he's
think-
on the field,
I think the
he's
Colts will
so
be drafting
good.
another quarterback in 3 years. I love him, and I think he's awesome.
I
I just
hope
think
it
there's
does.
no way he stays healthy. The way he plays, and he's not going to change.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
I hope it's not a Zach Collaros situation.
Or like again, like Cam
Yeah.
Newton later on, right? Like remember New England
Oh,
Cam Newton?
yeah, that
Oh
was
man, that was tough to
tough
watch.
to watch.
But again, like do the Jags? Is this the year where it's like again they've had those years where the defense carried them in the Bortles days, but everyone's been waiting for Trevor Lawrence to be like elite.
They're like Cleveland, man.
You
Like
think-
I don't
yeah,
care
the Jags
anymore.
are, yeah,
I don't
right.
care anymore. Do something.
Everyone's been so like on their bandwagon.
I
And,
was
like,
there
being like,
last
"Oh,
year.
man, they're
Calvin
good," right?
Ridley was
Calvin
my
Ridley,
way in
man,
last
when he
year,
gets
yeah.
back from his gambling thing, gonna light it up. Oh, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, and old Freddie Davis.
Freddie
Our buddy,
Davis?
old Freddie.
I will tell
Fred
you.
Davis, but you can call me Gabe. You mean a real name? Yep. But yeah, they got a good receiving core, pretty
will-
solid tight end. Like
Calvin Ridley, I gotta continue to enjoy these amazing wings from Keystone. The Wing King, my main man Austin, real name Wing King, told me I started Calvin Ridley every single week until I finally listened to him. He's like, "You gotta bench that bum." And guess which week I benched
oh,
him?
that was his like 50-point game or
He had,
whatever
I think, 4
last
touchdowns.
Week. Yeah.
And that was the only week I didn't play him. Then I
Yeah.
played him the rest of the way, and he didn't have another touchdown. I don't think the rest of the year.
I think they're going to be. Again, they're like a 9-8 team, but they're not built to be a 9-8 team. Like their young defense is so much fun to watch, but they're
fast.
just again, it's just like sometimes you just have the identity of like we're the Jags, and we don't have that tradition.
It's like the
We don't
Browns.
have that. They don't have that bone in their body that's just going to make them gut out a playoff win.
I would love to see it. I love to see
I would
teams
too.
get over that hump. You know
But
what
they
I mean?
were like them. They were in the AFC title game. I
Yeah.
don't know why I had to check. Are they in the AFC? They're in the AFC title game against the Patriots in 2018. Blake
they've been
Bortles,
there.
baby.
Yes, crazy.
Again,
eh?
their defense carried them. Like their
So
offense was
good.
junk. But still, like the Jags, they just don't have that.
I'm with you.
Yeah, right. Like, it's
1000%.
just, yeah, but I'm waiting for it to happen.
I
They're
hope
like
it does.
the Browns and the Jags. Everyone's just waiting for it to happen. At least the
gonna happen
Browns have the
sometime.
history, though, right? Like at least the Browns. Hey, we were good
That's
in the 50s.
true, like you
we
said,
had
yeah.
Jim
Jim
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
There you go. Again, a NFL preview. You can hear the entire episode of the Sask Food and Sports Podcast with the great Clayton Croker, family member, team member, all around good dude. It will be dropping tomorrow. Find it anywhere you find your audio podcast as well. We'll have the NFC portion of that talk come up either tomorrow or on Tuesday as we have Monday off. Before we close the show today, we have one more guest who has something very cool that we're going to talk about real quick before we head out. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Brooklyn with the side swipe. Oh, very well done. How you doing, young lady?
I'm good.
Well, let's make you great. And let's do that by talking about something that you are very involved with and very near and dear to your heart. The small but mighty SK Gold Walk that's about to go down. Maybe tell everyone what it's all about and how we can help out with this little venture.
Yeah, so the Small But Mighty Gold Walk is a event we put on every year because the childhood cancer fundraising is very low.
As in they need a bunch of money?
Yeah,
Yes.
because only 6% of all, or 5% of all general cancer fundraising goes to children.
Really?
Yeah,
I had no
it's
idea.
very little. And so we found a need for more cancer research, especially for like children's cancer research, not just the general stuff.
Yeah.
So we have an organization started by 2 cancer moms because they felt the need in the community and wanted to show support for other families. And then I joined with my mom and family in 2017.
Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about why you're so connected with all this?
Sure.
Okay.
When I was 10, I was diagnosed with osteosarcoma in my right femur. So for those of you who don't know the fancy medical terms, it's bone cancer.
Jeez.
Um,
10
and-
years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you know exactly what these kids are going through, and that's sort of why you wanted to get behind this.
Yeah, and a lot of childhood cancer, because we're growing, it's way more aggressive.
Yeah.
So they have to be just as aggressive with the treatment.
Oh.
So we have to find better ways to kind of.
Yeah, because you don't have
help deal with
that
it.
built-in. I guess that only comes with age. You build up the ability to fight stuff off, right?
Yeah.
You're so vulnerable.
Yeah, plus your cells are constantly growing at that age.
Cool.
So the cancer cells are replicating faster.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you get into this, and so what year would this be for you?
This is
Like for you personally?
for me personally. I started in
Oh.
2017.
Yeah. So it'd be, what's that, 7? I don't got math. I don't got no math. Yeah, like 7 years.
Yeah.
So you've been involved with this, and tell us when it's going on and how people can get involved.
Yeah. So September 14th,
Okay.
we have the actual Gold Walk. Of course, anyone can donate to. Here, let me find the links.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's all good.
So
You can also find the links in the description.
yeah.
Ha, nailed it. See, I didn't even try to mess with that one, LB. I know the importance of this one.
Yeah.
Links will be in the description.
So at www.beyondkidscancer.ca, or you can come out September 14th. The address is 2320 Louise Ave, September 14th. It runs from 11:30 to 4.
Okay.
And we have barbecue, a 50-50 photo booth, family activities, bake sale, which is always my favorite part.
Absolutely.
We have Curtis's magic show.
No way. Love magic.
Then we have the Gold Walk at 1.
Okay.
And of course, if you can't make it, you can always donate to the link in the description.
I like that. I'm thinking in my head right now. LB, we can go ahead and get the Frankie's Fingers going here while we finish this off. I'm thinking in my head right now, I'm not a big exercise guy. Not a big fan. If there was ever a reason to do a walk, this would be something that we'd be very into. But I think as a media network here, we will be more than happy to make a little donation to the cause, just so you know you got the support of everyone around here. So we will be sure to get that all figured out as we move forward. Again, the small but mighty SK Gold Walk going on September 14th is the big day. And if you want to make any donations, what's the website one more time? It's also going to be in the description.
www.beyondkidscancer.ca.
There it is. So head over there and make a little donation and help out. What did you say, 5%?
Yeah, so we have 30% goes to the Children's Hospital to help families directly.
Yeah.
And the other 70% goes directly to Childhood Cancer Canada for research.
Well, I was talking about like the overall.
Oh,
only
yeah.
5% of the
Only
overall
5% of overall cancer
goes
fundraising goes
to
to
children. To
So,
kids.
yeah.
So let's change that. Let's make that better. Because like you said, they're the ones that need it the most, right? Because they
Yeah.
don't have the body power to fight it.
Yeah.
Okay, you fired me up here. All right, we're going to keep pushing this. Thank you so much, Brooklyn, for stopping by. I think you did a fantastic job, by the way. So
Thanks.
be very proud. To the Dragon, who is now sitting with his family. He's so excited. It's so much family time for the boy. As he's sitting down again with more family time before he goes and enjoys that brand new supercomputer that LB built for him. That's all this guy does around here is just build stuff in between flying and scuba diving. So, by the way, thank you for today. You were great, as usual. As well to the great Clayton Croker, who you know from the internets. He's been so gracious with his time and has involved us around here with some of the videos that he puts out there that you see when you're scrolling through all your social media stuff. So if you see a guy in a robe, that's probably me and nothing else. It's kind of embarrassing. But great videos. So thank you to him for stopping by with one half of our double super awesome preview of the NFL season as we get set for kickoff there. And CTV's Matt Young every Thursday. Our boys in the house. We learned how to clean your N64 controllers today. All that white powder that goes in there, it's not anthrax. It won't poison you. It's just beat up plastic. So something to remember. Karma's very real. Do something real nice and your life will get better, I promise you. We'll see you tomorrow.